Let's get more on the legal side of this from CBS News election law expert David Becker. He joins us now. David, good morning to you. Impeachment, of course, is a political process, not a legal one, but the legal boundaries still matter. So with that in mind, what did you think of the House Democrats' case yesterday?
Well, they laid out a very strong case yesterday. They laid out the why, which is the big lie, the president whipping his supporters into a frenzy for months and months, going back to the spring, about how the election was going to be rigged, even though we knew that was false. Second, they laid out the what, the harm, the incredible damage done to Congress and the Capitol that day, January 6th. But probably most importantly, they laid out the how, which is that the president, every time he had called his supporters to a place, to Michigan, to the Capitol, or to an election official's house, to Texas, to D.C. on December 12th, his supporters showed up, and they often showed up armed, and there was often violence that ensued. And so that case is very, very strong right now. So
let's shift to the president's defense. Speech, of course, is free in this country, but it is not unlimited. How do the president's lawyers deal with the fact that he repeated this election lie about it being stolen from the American people, and then his supporters showed up to take it back?
Yeah, it's going to be a difficult case for the defense in this case. This is a political trial, and there are a lot of senators who want to find a reason to acquit. And it's going to be difficult for them to really make the case that the president didn't know this could happen, didn't want this to happen, and then, of course, he didn't act for hours while it was ongoing, even though he was begged repeatedly, including by members of his own party. So they're likely going to try to distract. They're going to bring up some constitutional issues. Most of them are frivolous, things like the Chief Justice not presiding over the event, but that's a frivolous issue. That is the vast consensus is that is fine in this case. It's a former president, not the president. And so they're going to try to distract with issues related to perhaps some whataboutism, like other times when Democrats or others have said things that were probably not the same.
David, quickly, we've mentioned it's a political trial. Could it at some point be a criminal trial?
Yes, this is not an either or. There could absolutely be criminal charges. The prosecution of a former president is not something that a prosecutor will take up on a whim, though. They're going to look at this very, very carefully over time. And in fact, you heard the president's lawyers suggest that the proper remedy for this, and it was a little bit odd to hear them say this, is a criminal prosecution of the former president.
All right, David Becker, thank you very much. And we will bring you our coverage of day 3 of the historic second impeachment trial of former President Trump in a CBS News special report. We expect the Senate to begin around noon Eastern. That would be 9 a.m. Pacific.